right, everyone, I have a real talk video today, and I'm kind of doing a few different topics that I think are relevant to now. And I know this isn't the main focus of my channel because I love doing makeup and I love doing fashion, but something that's very close to my heart is having just real talk videos where I discuss things that I've been through or things that I'd like to reflect on. Because I just think, I don't know, there's more to life than just makeup and fashion, even though I can't believe I'm saying that because I sell makeup and fashion. There is more to life than it. So I like to have little bits and pieces on my channel that focus on that. But I wanted to talk about today was what I would tell myself when I started out doing YouTube, because it's been 10 years now, which I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 10 years. Can you guys believe it? For those of you who've been on my channel for so long, we have grown 10 years together. We're practically married at this point. But there's so many things I wish I could tell myself when I look back at the first video I ever posted. And so I thought I'd just share that with all of you because every time I have a meetup or I see fans out in public, I always get the question, I really want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm really scared and I don't know. What advice would you give? It's almost the number one thing I always get asked. And so I thought I'd share some tips on starting a YouTube channel, but also what I wish I would tell myself when I had started. So I think the first thing to focus on is just get out there and do it. It's like the Nike commercial, just do it. Everyone's afraid to post that first video, but I swear, once you post that first video, it's so much easier after that. I remember when I turned on the camera, my first video I ever did was it was by NYX makeup. It was like a green and yellow look. It was the most horrific look. I would never wear that makeup now. My camera quality was bad, my lighting was bad, but you know what? It got me started, and from there, once I did video after video, it just became easier and easier to interact with the camera, to upgrade my lighting and everything else. It's just taking that first kind of push out there is all that it takes. Don't matter what your lighting is. It doesn't matter what your backdrop is. None of that matters as long as you just have the courage to post that first video. So I wish I had told myself that because I probably would have started sooner. The second thing I would tell myself is to not carry about my size. I have struggled with weight my entire life, and I think the one thing I almost quit not even a year after I started filming was because I got so much crap talked to me about my weight. And you guys have seen my journey. I've lost a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight back, and it seems to be the number one topic that everyone wants to talk about in my comments. Like when I'm scrolling through trying to answer people, it's like, she gained weight, she lost weight, did she put weight back on, is her butt bigger? Like, enough already. So I wish I had told myself when I started out that that did not matter at all. Your size doesn't matter, your age, what color your skin is, what color your hair is, how, whatever you think about yourself, it doesn't matter. It just matters that you're genuine and are yourself. So I wish I felt more confident about that because I'm not going to lie, the first couple years or so, I literally almost quit. I had so many nights where I cried myself to sleep because there was so many incredibly rude comments of people talking about my weight, and it wasn't necessary. It's like, I'm doing makeup videos. Why does my weight even matter? You're going to see from here up, everyone has a face. Doesn't matter what size you are. So that would be the number two thing would be, for me, it was weight. For you guys, whatever it may be that you're self-conscious about or is that people will nitpick, it does not matter what you look like. You could be a +10 model. You could be a Victoria's Secret magazine cover model, and people will still be like, oh, her nose. Did you see her nose? Like, her nose was so big, or whatever. They'll find something to talk about. So it doesn't matter what people have to say. Love yourself, embrace yourself, put yourself out there. The end of the day, you are who you are, and you're beautiful in your own skin, and God created you that way for a reason. There's no flaws in how you were made. So the number 3 thing that I would tell myself is to stick to what I'm passionate about, because there was kind of a time where I would see other people doing things on YouTube and they would get all these views and all this attention. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing it right. Maybe I should do that too. And so I kind of veer off the path. Like, for example, this high production stuff, like there's some amazing influencers that did these really beautiful high production stuff, and I would try it and it was like, wah, wah. It just was not my specialty. That's not what I bring to the table. So once I kind of reeled it back in and I figured out, like, for me, I love education, and that's what I've tried to focus on, and moving forward, I plan to do that even more. And that was something I'm really passionate about, is teaching. That's my background. That's what I've done my entire life, ever since I was a little kid with my teddy bears and my little chalkboard, teaching them how to do math. I've always loved education, and that's what I focused on for my channel. So I would say tune out what everyone else is doing, because if you just get thrown into this big pot of the same, you aren't going to stand out. Your channel is not going to be really innovative or grow that much because you're just doing what everyone else is doing because it's trendy or you think it's what you're supposed to be doing. No, sit down and write down a list of like, what are you passionate about? What do you want your channel to be about? And that's what you're going to focus on. So I wish I told myself that many years ago, because so many videos I had that flopped. I'm like, okay, I was not doing what I was passionate about. So that's why it went wrong. And then I think the last thing I would say to myself is to, this is a touchy topic because I did a truth video on it, but I would say stick to your morals. I know I'm not going to get on the soapbox or this high whatever because I'm flawed. I'm human too. I am not perfect by any means. But one thing that I would say I wish I told myself this whole time, and I've always been honest, you guys, I've never done, you know, sponsored deals where I didn't disclose anything, but I would say just to stick to my moral compass and not try to even consider doing things that I'm like, oh, well, maybe I could do that and make extra money, or I could sell this, you know, to, you know, gain whatever. I talked myself out of it over the years because I knew it was going to come back and bite me in the butt because my viewers are incredibly smart. You guys are smarter than I could even describe, and you know in your heart and genuinely what I'm about. If I'm being honest, if I'm being truthful, am I being true to myself? Am I sticking to what I personally believe in? And I think that's so important for a channel, and it's easy to sidetrack from that because there may be money involved. There may be, you know, whatever sort of gain that you have to get. And at the end of the day, if you're true to yourself and your moral compass, I feel like your channel will thrive and grow. And then the last little bit I want to talk about is just equipment. For those of you who are starting out on your YouTube channel, you don't have to have anything fancy. When I started my channel years ago, granted, it was a much smaller group back then, I literally had a 3-way light from Target. Are any of you old enough to remember that light? It had like 3 bulbs on it, and you can move the heads different ways, and I would sit down, I had my cheap little video camera, and I had this 3-way light from Target in my second bedroom, and I would finagle it to get like somewhat decent light, and that's all I started out with. And now there's so much equipment that you can get, and it can be so expensive, and it's intimidating if you're starting out and you aren't making any money off of it yet. It's like, well, am I going to spend thousands of dollars on the equipment? You don't have to, honestly. I feel like the beauty of YouTube is that it's so genuine and real. It's not like a commercial online where you have to have all this fancy stuff. So I was going to show you one option. When I started out, I had 2 umbrella lights that I use. I got them off of Amazon, and they were great and they worked amazing. But now they have so many cool options. Like my guy Kevin, hi Kevin. This is his light. He said this is on Amazon. It's $40. It's just an LED light that you can get, and I've seen many videographers use these, and what's really cool is they put out so much light. They're really small, so you can carry them with you everywhere, and they're so inexpensive, and you could turn down the brightness of it. You can make it super bright or not. Just get a couple of them, put one on each side, and just sit in the center so it's evenly lit. And honestly, that's all you need is just a couple lights, a camera. I love the Canon ones. I just got a Canon actual, you know, click and shoot camera that had a flip screen. And then if you want to get a sound recorder, I'll link to a couple options below. You just need one little like tabletop sound recorder, or you can get like a boom like I have here. Just any sort of little sound stuff, and all of this stuff can be found on Amazon for pretty inexpensive, so you don't have to invest a ton of money. As you go along, you can always upgrade and get better stuff later on, but if you're just starting out, honestly, a couple lights, a camera, you're good to go. So that is all the stuff I would have told myself when I started out on YouTube. I hope so many of you out there who are starting have the confidence. Just post that first video. I promise after that, it's so easy. It's just taking that initial step that's the hardest. Stay true to yourself, do what you're passionate about and that you love, and your channel will grow and thrive. So hopefully that helps some of you out there. If you want to see certain topics for me to talk about, click that, type that in the description box below, and so I could film that for you guys. So hope you're doing really great, and thank you so much for all your support over these years. 10 years. 10 years, you guys. We're like this now. I appreciate each one of you. So take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.